Hello and welcome to Hops and Brews. This week,
we're freezing
for an open window on a crappy world. Max and Chris from Ups and Brews. Ups and Brews. Welcome to Ups and Brews.
I always realize that I say a really dumb joke about the subject but never really tell the subject in the intro, which I think it sucks, so yeah.
But at the same time, people see it in the description. Like, they click on the end and the thumbnail. So, I mean, if they don't know what the subject is, they're kind of idiots. So this week, we are diving into cryo hops, a subject that's actually pretty interesting because there's a lot of ways to process your hops and to get that nice kind of flavor or alpha aroma or a concentration of one or the other. And it's been done for hundreds of years. That's how we use hops nowadays. But cryo is the new kid on the block. It's a new way of extracting those flavors. Now, Chris, where is it from?
Before we get into the where is it from, one thing to always keep in mind is when you take care of your own hops, we already talked about it when we were processing the hops we have here at the HQ hop yard. Always keeping it away from heat, from direct sunlight, and also away from oxygen. So I think the cryo hops is probably future, like it's a big future for hops. So where does all this started? In Yakima Valley. So Yakima Valley, if you don't know about this place, it's probably hop heaven in the US. 75% of the hops are grown in the Yakima Valley. This is huge amount of hops. But also a lot of very nice hops were developed and are still copyright by the Yakima Valley. So Citra Mosaic, and a couple other ones can't be grown outside of this fantastic valley. So please just make it happen so we can try it here at the HQ. Maybe.
Well, see, that's the thing is, I don't think you can make it happen in the sense that there's a lot of terroir that goes with hop growing. So depending on where you grow it, you're actually going to get different flavors from it.
Yeah.
Just to some extent where when they started brewing beer in America, they brought some strains from Europe, some noble strains. They brought them here, and just the environment kind of changed the composition of those hops. That's why you can't have any Saaz or any of those other noble hops that I can't name right now that I should be able to, but I forgot. But anyways, yeah, please.
Like Tristle Spalt and the other weird ones.
It's not noble, but it is one of those like East Kent Golding. You know, it is. You don't have an East Kent Golding in North America. You have.
Is it just Golding?
Brewers something. No.
Northern Brewer.
Northern Brewer is basically, if I remember correctly, is basically East Kent Golding, just the American version of it.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
So all that makes Yakima Valley kind of like the Silicon Valley of the hop growing industry. That's a very good comparison.
Yeah,
I'm very proud about it. So a company called YCH, which means Yakima Chief Hop Union, started the Cryo Hops Lupu LN2, which is a play on lupulin and also the concentration of liquid nitrogen that they're using to produce cryo hops. So they basically, what they do is take the fresh hop, smash it through a lot of liquid nitrogen, and then separate the leaves from the lupulin powder out there. So it creates some sort of like a debittered leaf in the end process. So of course, this was all developed back, I think probably from the dates I have, it's 2016 when it started in breweries like Lawson's Finest and Trillium Brewing Company were in the first ones to play with it. And a very fun fact, in 2016, Lawson Finest brewed kind of like their first beer with this new cryo hops, which was a massive double dry hop IPA with Cryo Mosaic, Cryo Citra, and Cryo Simcoe all in one beer. And it really smashed through the whole Beer Spectrum, a lot of really good notes on Beer Advocate and on Untappd. So it really took off on a very big scale at that point. But in that all cryogenic process, there's two parts of the hop that it's massively affected, which is the actual leaf and the powder extract. So it creates the lupulin powder and the bract that they called. The bract, the leaves that are left behind, are used to create blends of hops. As Max, like I think Falconer's Flight is a blend, but some hop companies are like, they have their own blends of different hops, kind of like leftover hops, I feel like, but it's probably not leftover hops, but it's still kind of like a different blend that brewers can use into their own brews.
Which is not very popular. Most brewers like to have a pure strain of hops, just because then you can control what you put in. Same thing with so environments. I visited environments in Germany, and they have basically a pre-mix grain pack that you can buy. So you can literally go like, hey, my recipe is 10% this, 50% that, 40% this, and another 10% that, and they will pre-package a bag with those grains in, which is kind of cool. At the same time, I'd rather do it myself. You know, you can actually control it, and if you have to modify it down the line, you can. But same thing with hops. I wouldn't see a brewer go like, oh yeah, I'll use this hop mix. You know, same thing. It goes back to the Garut days when the church was controlling the mix of Garut for your beer. Brewers tend to be very superstitious, and they like control over their product.
Oh yeah. But Max, on the brewing side of things, how do you use cryo hops? Like, it's something that needs to be kept frozen. How do you brew with it?
Yeah, so basically, with hops in general, there's an arms race towards the best way of utilizing it. Because let's not lie to each other. There's a lot of not grass, but a lot of extra product in hops. Really, what we only want is that lupulin powder. As soon as you have the whole cone, you have a lot of vegetal kind of property to that we don't necessarily want. We're looking for the lupulin powder. So there's been a lot of different ways to extract lupulin, and some countries are going to be okay with it, others not so much. Like in Germany with the Rheinheitsgebot, there's actually a lot of processing to hops that you can't do. As soon as you start isomerizing your alpha acids, you can't use it in a beer and call it a beer in Germany, which is kind of a weird concept. Because some growers there, because I visited Steinecker as well, some growers have started canning their hops. In that process, they have to heat that can, and it actually starts isomerizing alpha acids, and they can't legally sell, well, they can't sell it in Germany, but brewers can't use it. Or they can't use it in the same way that other brewers in America would use it, because they can't call it a beer because it's been processed beforehand. Anyways, there's a lot of different ways to extract this. One of the most popular way right now is using CO2, because CO2 is a naturally occurring gas in brewing, so it's easier to kind of go, hey, let's use CO2 to extract that lupulin. It's still beer. It's still perfect because it's a naturally occurring gas in the brewing process. Also, it's a great way to extract lupulin from your vegetal kind of material. Other ways, like using ethanol is another way, and cryo is another way. Cryo is quite interesting in the sense that you're freezing those cones and you're literally separating the, again, the organic, or I'm going to go organic material from the lupulin powder. So you're creating two different products in the sense that you've got your concentrate alpha acids that also has some aroma and some flavor. And then you also have that organic material that's more of the grassy floral kind of American noble hop, if you want.
Yeah.
How to use it? Same way. You can use it at any part of the process, if it's your boil, if it's early boil, late boil, whirlpool, or even in your dry hop. You're just going to extract different parameters from there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Is it different than using pellets? Yeah, it's different because you have less organic material, but it's still essentially for the same goal.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like it's a lot more concentrated at the same time, so your calculations on the brewing process should be different in one way, I guess.
Yeah, and the amount of Trub loss. So you're actually going to lose less liquid at the end, which is nice because in brewing, every single milliliter is a dollar in profit. You know, it's a couple cents or dollars of profit in your end of the line. So if you can limit it for sure. Is it any different than using pellets? Yeah, it's different in that. Is it different in flavors? Can be, can't be. Depends on how you brew it, how you use it.
Yeah, how you develop your own beer towards it. And overall, I think that Cryo Ops is a nice technology. I think that right now it's still a process that it's locked and kind of like kept secret by YCH, which is 100% like you do you. It's the way to go if you want to keep that secret for you. But for the breweries, it saves space because you need to order less and it's actually smaller packages, save on shipping rates. So it's, again, a little bit better for environment because you can ship more in one truck and all that. And in the end process, like Max said, you save on the yield on the loss of beer you get from the pellet that takes a little bit of that liquid out when you drain them instead of putting it in cans or bottles.
Exactly. So it's good. It's bringing the brewing world forward, which I'm always for, because I think there is a reason to be superstitious and to be to look back and go, that's the way to do it and not change. But there's also merit to analyzing why you're doing something and if there's a better way to do it, especially if you have the technology to do better.
Yeah, man.
Just like Steam Jacket was a technology that didn't have back in the day. Just like a mash tun wasn't a thing they had when they started brewing. So yeah. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.